Greetings and salutations, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of The Jump
Cut. That was coordinated.
Yes, this is a show where we talk about movies, TV, comic books, and all-around geek culture.
And racing horses.
Oh yeah, racing horses are good. I'm one of your hosts, Nigel Fullerton. Here with me is...
Nigel Fullerton.
Exactly, Nigel Squared.
Nigel Squared. Oh boy, we were playing off the Area 22 brand.
Hey,
oh.
we try.
We try. Oh, I should probably turn off that audio, shouldn't I?
Yeah. Basically, we have a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of stuff to cover. We were off last week, so there's a couple things that we didn't get to talk about last week. Today, we will be talking about the movie Us, the TV show.
Not the Jordan Peele movie. We did like a backyard flick.
Oh yeah, so. You know, we do that sometimes. Sex Education on Netflix. Anya Marina, Independent Woman. Woo! Love, Death, and Robots. And
which Nigel loved.
Of course. And the 1996 movie Scream.
Yeah.
Yeah. So tune in, everybody. First off, we like to talk about...
Geek News.
Geek News, yes.
You have that written down?
Yes, I do.
Good stuff. Okay.
So there's a lot of stuff that's been going on in geek culture. First off, we're going to talk about the Disney-Fox merger finally went through.
Yes, Simpsons is now a Disney show.
Yeah, I feel like this took 2 years to complete.
Yeah, that was something.
You know, and I also watched half of Fox's workforce get snapped in half.
Yep. I can't even imagine that. They were your friends, right? Weren't you friends with a bunch of them?
No, I don't know anybody.
Oh.
I don't know anybody in Fox.
All right, zipping back up, going back into my shell.
But yes, Disney-Fox merger finally went through. What are your thoughts? Do you feel underwhelmed by this? Because that's how I feel.
By the merger?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just Disney growing. I mean, pretty soon they're going to have to battle Amazon.
I feel like we've been waiting for this for a long time. And now that it's done, it's like there's no new news about anything. There's no like offering day one about what's going on, what's the future of Marvel, what's the future of...
I mean, a lot of it is not really just like the fact that they merge. It's like the potential of what could happen, the crossovers, you know?
Right.
Like, we can get The Simpsons in Kingdom Hearts 4.
We could.
So.
We can also get Alien versus...
Predator?
Predator.
Yeah. If I could get a xenomorph and watch it eat Bart Simpson and then just...
Well, they were already 21st.
Say the words I want to say.
They were already 21st Century Fox things already, but I'm just saying, like the crossovers. I don't know how I feel about it now that it's actually gone through, because I wish they had all this buildup and now I have nothing really.
It means nothing to me. I'm being completely honest with that. Like I just like thinking about it. I don't know. Disney's snatching everything. I'm more concerned about the Netflix.
Yeah, you're not a Disney guy.
I like Disney. I like Pirates of the Caribbean, Big Hero 6, things like that. But I'm not like big on the musical side. I could appreciate the work that goes into it.
Right.
And they do a hell of a better job than I could ever imagine.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not a Disney dude.
All right. Hey, listen, it's all right. We're still here for it. Hopefully there'll be more news about Disney and Fox down the pipeline. But next up, we were talking about Google Stadia.
Oh, that's a big one.
Yeah, Google announced their new streaming console that includes, I believe it includes just gaming.
So I was doing research into it because that's something that really intrigued me, because for a while, we spoke about it a couple shows ago.
We did.
We spoke about the future of console gaming. And now with console gaming, what you have is you have, what's it called? You have streaming and digital, and no hardware is involved anymore.
There's no hardware involved anymore. There's no more cartrages.
Or CDs even, like Blu-rays. Blu-rays are even too small.
I find it crazy because I find it crazy because now I can just take a controller and just go on to YouTube and just play whatever is on YouTube.
So let's talk about what the Stadia is.
Yeah.
So the Google Stadia, you have a controller that looks like a hybrid between an Xbox controller and a DualShock 4. Closer on the DualShock 4 side, there's two extra buttons. There's a Google Assistant button, and then there's a streaming button, which lets you stream directly to YouTube. It is unclear if the Stadia is going to be an external piece of hardware or just the controller.
I heard it was just the controller.
Things are leaning towards just a controller. Things aren't being confirmed until this summer.
Okay.
The Google Stadia, as I'm looking into it, they said they requires a minimum of 25 megabits down.
Okay.
and it requires a stable internet connection, so probably Ethernet, unless you have really good Wi-Fi.
Right.
And since it's completely stream-based, people are questioning the pricing system. Are you going to have to pay monthly for it, like Netflix?
Right.
Are you going to buy your games through it? Because if you buy your games through it and you only stream it, you're not going to own it, you know?
Right.
So if you get banned or you don't have internet, you can't play those games.
Well, some people think it's going to be like Xbox Live and a PSN.
Well, what they said is it is a technical nightmare to allow us to download the games to whatever system because of the way the Google Stadia works.
Right.
And so the other option is, obviously, you can buy games and an online service at the same time. But what people seem to be thinking is it's going to be like the Netflix of gaming, which PlayStation tried to do with PS Now, and that's a buggy mess.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of PS Now.
Xbox has their own kind of version, and you don't stream it, but it's Xbox Game Pass, where you, for what, $10 a month, you have access to their biggest titles that you can download on both PC and Xbox. So I was sitting and thinking about what Google Stadia would be good for, right? I mean, I go on work trips.
Okay.
I can't use it in hotels.
Right.
If you when I was at a hotel in Vegas, we tried downloading some Google Docs files so we can edit it and get it ready for a presentation.
And couldn't get it through.
We couldn't even go to the site. So that's off. My Switch is coming still with me over to those trips.
Right.
And that brings me to the next point. I have a Switch. I have my Xbox and PlayStation for exclusives. So next up is graphics. It has more graphical fidelity than the PlayStation and Xbox put together.
That's what it's saying.
At I think 16 teraflops, if I'm getting correct. At 16.1. And that's just jargon numbers that they're throwing out. They don't really talk about like.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never heard of a teraflop before in my life.
Until this console day, it wasn't really mentioned. They don't talk about like the CUDA cores, or they don't talk about like the clock speeds and anything. They just talk about teraflops. And then if I want to get good quality graphics, I go to PC then. So what Google Stadia would be good for is convenience in the sense of, hey, we're going to hang out at the same time. I'll bring my Stadia controller. We can play together. Which is another thing, is that if you're watching a stream on YouTube, you can actually join directly from YouTube.com and sit in a queue to get ready to play.
You know what's real funny? Sega tried this in the 90s.
The Dreamcast?
No, not the Dreamcast. For Sega Genesis, there was a video. It was like kind of like pay-per-view, and it was a game service that you can pick any game through the service. If you paid for it, your parents had to use their credit card, and you would be able to pay. And it flopped, just like how I think Google Stadia is going to flop.
I don't think it's going to flop. My issue with Google is that all right, I want to use an example. So are you familiar with RMS messaging services?
Kind of. I know what you're
an example is iMessage. So like the way it works is that you have your cell phone. Your cell phone sends a text, and what RMS does is it sends it up to the internet. The internet determines, okay, is this going to be a specialized message to another RMS user, or is this going to be just a typical SMS?
Okay.
And then sends to the other phone. So Google had 4 attempts at making messaging apps, only one of which still exists. And none were cohesive. So I had friends ask me, is there like an iMessage equivalent on Android? And no. Because Google wasn't.
Google Hangouts, Google Chat.
Google Hangouts flopped.
Google Talk.
Those all flopped. And now you have Google Messages, which they're trying to go for. But then you had, let's not forget, you had Google Allo and Duo.
Okay.
Allo was the premier messaging service, and Duo was a video chat service. People use neither. Because Allo, I tried using it, and you need to get a special phone number exclusively for that app to use it.
Yeah, that's whack. I'm not doing that.
So I just send texts or Facebook messages or Instagram or whatever. But and you can follow us on Instagram, Nigel Fullerton _, _.
Yes.
We're good with that.
And speaking of streaming and gaming, Apple has a new streaming service.
The Pippin 2.
Yeah, Apple is now throwing its hat in the streaming service ring with their own original programming. We don't know all the stuff that's going to be happening. I know Oprah is supposed to be a part of that.
Wow, that's going to be a big deal.
Yeah, I know there's a couple of shows that's supposed to be like going on with this. I don't know all the stuff right now, but I do know that they are having a gaming streaming service, which it looks like it's all apps.
Yeah, Apple knows that just as well as Google knows, and Android manufacturers and everything, that the mobile gaming market outside the U.S. is absolutely like blowing up. It's intense. Like people, I think I mentioned this before too, how people are making phones with a second screen as a dedicated controller.
Right.
That's like insane. But Apple going into it, let's not forget that like Apple TV is pretty like iffy, you know? Like if you both have an account charged to the same credit card at the same address, and someone accidentally buys a movie on their account instead of the other main one, you can't transfer it over or anything.
Oh, wow.
It's not like Netflix where you have one account and different like users. So Apple TV is kind of for me.
Well, I mean, well, I'm sorry to cut you off, but like there are different similarities with that I do like about this. I do like the fact that you can go from Apple TV to your phone to your tablet, which you can also do with Google.
Yeah.
However, Apple is going to be in every single market. Google is not going to Japan. It's not going to all the places where gaming.
Stadia is exclusively going to be in, which we should have mentioned beforehand.
Right.
North America, Europe.
Right.
I think Canada.
Right.
And I think that's it.
But not in the places where gaming is big.
Well, right now what they're trying to do is, since it's streaming, you know,
I understand.
They have to have the servers. I don't think they have servers really dedicated
in
to service
Japan?
in Japan. I don't think as much as they have in the U.S. I mean, they're based out of the U.S.
Right.
So, and was it Cupertino or something?
Yeah.
And that's where they're based, or is that Apple?
Apple's Cupertino.
Google's in that area.
Okay.
They're on that Silicon Valley area. But yeah, so with the Apple Arcade, it's just not going to work in America. No one's going to really care.
I mean, Apple's tried this before. There's a couple places that have tried, like Amazon has tried to do something like this where they had video games on Amazon. Like they had something like
on the Kindle. Was it the Kindle Fire Stick?
The Fire TV.
Fire TV.
Yeah, on Fire TV, what they tried to do is have like you can play Sonic on Fire TV if you want to. Like there's little games you can, but it's nobody does that.
Yeah, no, it's just it has no interest to me.
I think if you give it a couple years, maybe it'll happen. Like when Netflix first started, nobody thought Netflix was going to blow up.
I thought Netflix was going to be a cool deal. Just the idea of paying a few dollars a month, and like it was $7 a month at the time,
right? And
stream like all these great movies.
They weren't great in the beginning.
No, but there were some really good movies.
Yeah, they weren't great.
And keep in mind, in the very beginning, right before Netflix, we had LimeWire.
True.
So it was a matter of, do we want to download it and delete it instantly, or do we want to stream it?
Yeah, but like the stuff on Netflix, like Zap with Scott Baio.
Well, I'm not saying like...
You know how many Scott Baio movies I watched on Netflix when it first came out?
When Netflix first came out, though, they did... Because Netflix, before it was streaming, it was always like the DVD delivery
It was the DVD delivering, right.
And then they started porting the DVDs
Once
over to Netflix.
they started there were really crappy movies. Like there was a lot of them.
Yeah,
you know,
there still are a lot of them.
I mean, listen.
It's just proportionate.
Listen, Porky's 2, Cannonball Run 2. I could keep going.
Yeah, but I don't have a lot of faith in what Apple is doing. I mean, the only reason I knew about what Apple is doing is, and I'm like a really big geek.
Right.
And Apple's being really safe. I don't know if you saw about the AirPods 2.
I did see about the AirPods 2.
There's no difference in sound quality.
Nope.
The only difference is it connects a little bit quicker.
Yep.
It has wireless charging, and I think that's really it.
Yeah, and everybody's going to go out of their wallet and say, hey, Apple,
Siri.
Take my money.
It has the Hey Siri functionality, where you can just say that to your headphones and they work. You know what Google's been doing for years.
I really think my iPhone is trying to kill me.
I know. I got my LG over here. I got my
really
V40.
Because every week it gets bigger and bigger. like I feel like the machines are definitely trying to take over, and I think it's going to be between Apple and Google, and they've already had their first casualty. Steve Jobs.
Oof. It's not like Tim Cook's doing much for them. So what's up next? We got...
Well, we could talk about the Buffy and Angel reunion and reboot.
I thought we were dropping this.
Oh, no, we're going to talk about it. Listen, I am a big Buffy and Angel fan. I don't know about you.
I am not, and I also want to make sure that this doesn't rub against my shirt.
I am. I'm all about it. I was a big fan of both shows. I do like the fact that they're thinking about doing a reunion for Angel. Buffy reboot, I'm not too sure about. I know you have no.
Is it a comic reboot or is it a show?
It's going to be a show. It's not going to be a comic reboot.
So I know they have a comic series that was decently successful very recently.
Right, they do. They actually what it was after both of the shows were canceled, they did the seasons in comic books. So they've been going on with those for years. But the issue was that you're playing vampires. These vampires are going to get old.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with David Boreanaz. David Boreanaz looks like 100 compared to what he looked like when he first started in '97.
Oof, yikes.
So
let's hope David Boreanaz isn't watching our show right now. We love you, Dave.
We love you in bones.
It's all good.
You know, but I mean, I'm excited about that. I don't know how you feel about this. We talked about movie reboots, but we never talked about TV reboots and reunions.
Right now I'm trying to think off the top of my head of TV reboots. And I know for a reunion they had Psych, the Psych movie.
They had Psych. I mean, there was the Entourage movie.
I like that, actually.
Yeah, there was a Sex and the City movie.
Yeah.
Will and Grace is back on the air for some reason. You know, there's a lot of reboots happening TV-wise.
I mean, you could technically call like Family Guy a revival since it was canceled.
Grace.
Yeah, it's back on TV.
Really?
Yeah, it is. Second season.
Oh, Arrested Development came back too.
Yeah, Arrested Development. There's a lot.
It's not good.
I haven't watched any of them.
I didn't watch season 6. I watched season 5, or most of it, and I just got bored.
Yeah, a lot of these TV shows are coming back. Even with Curb Your Enthusiasm, when they did a soft reboot of Seinfeld, which I thought was amazing. When they just did one season about a Seinfeld reboot, but never really showed an episode. You know,
I'm really excited for more Curb Your Enthusiasm. I don't know if it's considered like a revival because it was off the air for a bit, but it wasn't really
off the air for a while. Yeah.
But it wasn't really off the air, but because it came out the season last year, but it was after like 5 years.
Well, the funny thing about Larry David is that for the past, I don't know if you know when the first season of Curb came out.
That was like late 2000s, right?
No, first season of Curb came out in 2001.
Wow.
So he's been back and forth with this idea of Curb for years. Even though it's only probably season 6,
it's still very organic feeling.
It is,
yeah.
But it takes a long time to build that up and to have that. And it's getting better and better. It just sucks that Bob Funkhauser died. But
like they have, I also do keep in mind that they use a lot of big name actors in it, and they're not always available.
They do.
So that could probably slow
I just like seeing Richard Lewis back on TV.
I don't know. I'm skeptical about reboots. I think if a show's good enough on its own, they just leave it.
Yeah.
Like you had what's it called? Scrubs, do season 9, which was okay as its own thing, as like a spin-off of Scrubs, but it wasn't really Scrubs.
Right.
So I feel like there's a lot of that stuff going to happen.
Yeah, I'm just excited to see what they're going to do. CW has tried to reboot Charmed, a TV show that from the 90s as well. Yeah, it was with Alyssa Milano and Shannon Doherty, and the reboot is not good. But it depends. Like, what is something that you would like to see rebooted, TV-wise?
TV-wise?
Yeah.
If you asked me this like 3 years ago, I would have said Arrested Development.
All right, now.
I don't know, because a lot of shows that I really liked that got canceled kind of ended with like dignity.
Okay.
I think Dexter, if they did it right. If they did it right, because
if they did it right.
After season 6, it kind of nosedived.
After season 4.
I loved season 6. I can't. I'm so biased to it.
Are you? Why?
Yeah, because I just love the themes that they spoke about in it.
Which one was season 6?
That was the biblical one.
With Mos Def was in there, right? Okay. All right, I did like that season.
That was my first season of Dexter.
Oh, no, my first season was season 3, between 3 and 4.
Okay.
With the Trinity Killer?
Trinity was season 4, I think.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was season 2 or season 4, because I remember Trinity wasn't in 3 for some reason. So it's 2 or 4.
His wife died in 3, though, right?
Wow, good spoiler.
I'm sorry.
I think it was 2.
If they haven't watched it already, I mean, how long has it been on Netflix?
It is on Netflix, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Oh. It's been on Netflix for 4 years. That show ended in 2012.
Yeah, it ended the same day as Breaking Bad.
Did it? I've never seen Breaking Bad.
That's a good show.
Yeah, I tried to watch the first season, like the first couple episodes, and everybody tells me, "Hey, you just gotta keep going."
It's an expertly done show.
That's what I hear.
It's like a master class in television cinema, essentially.
That's what I hear.
That's what you could call it.
That's what I hear. But let's finish out geek news. Last thing. We watched 2 trailers this week.
Oh boy, I'm gonna let it be a surprise what you talk about first.
All right. Let's talk about the Dora trailer.
I was dreading this moment.
Yeah, the Dora the Explorer trailer.
Who is it for? Who is this movie for?
So we watched the Dora the Explorer trailer, and it shows a teenage Dora the Explorer.
It ain't for teenagers, I'll tell you that much.
She's probably like, let's say 13.
Not for 13-year-olds either.
Diego is like a little older than she is.
Diego looks weird, man.
Diego is like super freakishly tall. Like, that's Diego Porzingis.
All right, this is your cousin Diego. I remember Diego like being like a weird love interest back in the show.
Was he?
I don't know.
I've never watched the show, so I don't know. I just know.
I watched a few episodes when I was younger. I just remember seeing Diego. I'm like, this guy looks like the love interest.
And I told you, you know, Dora's been on the air for like over 20 years now.
Yeah, because we were talking about, because that's the first thing I said is I don't know who this is for. Because the trailer showcases Laura as like a Tomb Raider type deal?
Yes.
I said Laura. Dora is like a Tomb Raider type deal?
Hey, Laura Dora. I knew what you were talking about.
Oh, well. It looks like a Tomb Raider type movie. And then it also looks like, you know, a fish out of water story. Then it looks like an Uncharted story. It's just, it doesn't have anything that really makes
Honestly, it looks like the precursor for Mean Girls. Because wasn't she from the jungle? Didn't she live in the jungle?
I don't remember.
Yeah, she came from the jungle to go to the school.
Yeah, I saw that movie like twice years ago.
Oh my God, no.
I mean,
That's what Dora is.
You can't sit with us. That's all I know about that.
Dora is the Spanish Lindsay Lohan.
It doesn't make sense to me. Like just the whole just the concept of the movie. I mean, because, all right, so we were discussing who it could potentially be for.
Right.
Movie's not for teenagers because it's clearly oriented towards like preteens, like the way it's made.
It's pushed to preteens.
Preteens won't watch it because they think Dora is too childish, you know?
Okay.
Like you have preteens, they're going to go see a movie. Where are they going to see Avengers or Dora?
I get that, but
So then you have the kids.
Okay.
Movie's way too mature for kids.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I was looking at the trailer and you have like Dora just swinging around a knife for one of the parts.
Listen, I grew up watching the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I mean, that's you.
And I was on board with the fact that they fought people, had knives.
But keep in mind that Dora isn't really for the male demographic. It's more for the female demographic.
Okay.
So, I don't know. I'm not putting a blanket statement over it. Some people, listen, it might be wildly successful, but it's also a Nickelodeon movie.
A lot of people thought it was just like a hoax.
I'm really shocked that I'm shocked that like it's just being made. Like Nickelodeon, they still have traction. I didn't think they had anymore due to streaming services.
Right.
Like I remember I saw an ad like yesterday for the Kids' Choice Awards.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was still
the Migos performed.
Oh my Lord. And then I was reading the comments and I've seen like a bunch of kids commenting on like who they want to win and everything.
Yeah.
I was just so shocked.
Kids are still into
cable.
Yeah, they're still into Kids' Choice Awards. They're still into Nickelodeon. They still have shows that they watch. Mm-hmm. You know, even though YouTube is the big thing now for them, they still watch TV.
I mean, TV don't have Momo, so there's a benefit there.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know who this is for. A lot of people thought it was a hoax. I thought it was a hoax too until I saw Michael Pena.
Yeah.
Who I feel like is
Michael Pena was so funny in that, man. He was the best part of that movie.
Dude, I feel like Michael Pena is the Spanish Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
I feel like he's always
He has his token character.
Yes.
But he's really good at it.
I liked him in Shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really liked him in Shooter. There's not too many, and Ant-Man. Those are like the two things that.
But Michael Pena, weren't like most of his roles like under like stereotypical Latino names, like
every single
Juan
one.
Or Carlos.
Juan, Carlos. But I mean, he's making his niche, and I won't even call him. I won't say that he's the Spanish Kevin Hart. I will say he's the Spanish Anthony Anderson.
Yeah.
I'll say that because there is a typecast that they put him for, but when he knocks it out the park, he knocks it out the park.
Yeah, he's entertaining, man. He's funny and he's entertaining. So what else we have?
That's it for Geek News.
No, it's not it for Geek News.
What else? I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry.
We were so absorbed in not knowing who Dora's for that we forgot what the actual show we want to see is Stranger Things 3.
Stranger Things 3.
So for those of you that don't know Stranger Things, if you've been living under a rock, Stranger Things is a Netflix original series.
Yes.
That pays homage to like the old school horror films of like the 70s and 80s. Not really old school, retro.
Retro. I mean,
70s, 80s. And it does it in a way that like still feels modern.
Yeah.
but it's good for like but it's just like it's good for the people who want to have that nostalgic feel.
Right.
Watching the show gives that nostalgic feeling to me who didn't live through it, you know? But it also is like, it follows the story of this kid getting absorbed into this alternate reality, and his friends were just a bunch of kids trying to save him. And these kids look like they're straight out of it.
Oh my God.
And one of them is out of it, I guess.
When I first saw Stranger Things, I thought, oh my God, this is just like The Goonies, which is one of my favorite movies. And it's a mixture of all that, Goonies, E.T., the list goes on. And I really like what they do. I think this season is set in 1985, which now the kids are older. They look freakishly.
They specifically said in the trailer, we're not kids anymore.
Yeah, they've aged like tremendous. Like they all look like they're 22.
Because I think the same actors though, right?
Same actors.
Because they all like went through their puberty spurt, so they had to kind of run with it for the plot.
Hey, listen, 11 is DMing Drake like at midnight. Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah. Oh yeah, you didn't know about that? Oh yeah, Drake got the internet went after Drake after that.
Hey, wasn't he grooming her or whatever? Is that the
That's
rumor?
what they think.
Right.
Yeah, the rumor is that he's grooming 11.
I remember her saying how gross it was. Didn't she have to kiss Finn Wolfhard?
Yes.
And like she said, she had to redo the scene like 30 times. And she said it was just the grossest thing, and she just felt like her lips were covered in slobber every time.
Yeah, but now she's like 16, and now like everybody's waiting. Not me.
That's gross.
Not me,
that's
but
horrendous.
That's what I hear. Listen, every year there's some creepy guy waiting for somebody to turn 18. Millie Bobby Brown is the next person.
I have friends who were messaged when they were 16, and like, yeah, no, I'm 16, and then they literally messaged the girl 2 years later to the exact day, and said, "Hey, you 18 yet?"
You don't even say that. You should just be like, "Hey, stranger."
Hey, stranger danger.
So, Stranger Things, yes. So I'm excited. I can't wait. I cannot wait. I feel like it's been 2 years since we've seen Stranger Things.
And Stranger Things season 1 actually had like some good scare in it. It was pretty good. But do you know who this show is for? Because I do know who this show is for. Me. It's for me. Just me. You guys are just you're just benefiting off of my fortune.
Because I feel like Stranger Things 2 debuted in the fall of 2017.
Yeah, that's right. Around
so
then.
it's been almost 2 years. So I can't wait. I'm all aboard.
I'm totally on board with it. I watched season 2 in like a day. Oh. It was really, really entertaining.
I mean, I want to see what's going on with Steve, but not only Steve. I want to go see what's going on with that other guy, that girl's brother.
Yeah.
With the long hair.
Yeah.
I want to see what's going on with him. Yeah. He's like in the trailer. He's a lifeguard.
And he's screaming with his missing teeth. It's horrifying.
Oh yeah. Not that guy, but
yeah. And I'm just saying. I'm thinking about like because the noise I made was from that other character. But man, I'm excited for the show. Come back soon. We're in the second half of the show, which means review time.
Review time.
Nigel's going to pick the order.
Yeah.
We're going to like throw a ball in the machine. What do you got?
First thing we're going to talk about is Love, Death, and Robots.
Love, Death, and Robots.
Oh my goodness.
We were walking in here and Nigel just said to me, he's like, man, I can't tell you how much I loved this show. It's just so incredibly inspired and amazing.
So Love, Death, and Robots is an anthology of animation that basically Netflix has given us. It's CGI, it's handwritten
it's
animation.
CGI, there's hand-drawn animations to it, and there's only like one episode in the entire thing that's actually live action.
Oh wow.
And it has a lot of CGI in it. And that's where Topher Grace is.
Oh wow. That's probably toward the end.
It's towards the end, second last episode.
Yeah. I tapped out. There's 18 episodes. I tapped out at about 9.
I watched every single episode in about a day and a half.
Right.
And this is just like on my off time casually. Like I watched 3 or 4 episodes because they range from about 10 minutes to 20 minutes.
Right.
So I threw on like 3 or 4 episodes. Went and did the laundry. Threw on a few more episodes. Went and made some dinner. Threw on a few more episodes.
Well, that was my issue. I kept doing other things while I was watching this.
And you just got lost?
And I got lost.
See, that's what I was telling you. That's what I told you before you watched it.
I know you told me that.
You got to pay attention to it because every story is self-contained.
Dude, I was like on my phone. I was like doing everything else besides like paying attention to it.
The first episode just had me gripped.
Did it?
Yeah.
It looked like a live action Pokemon battle.
That's really cool. Gojira.
Yeah, one of my favorite episodes is actually the day that yogurt took over the world.
That was a cool one.
I did like that one. I like the animation. I like the fact that they look like Legos, like live action Legos. I like the whole premise of it. I thought it was cute and quirky, and it was cool. But there was just so much stuff. Like my issue was I tried to power through and watch it, where like you told me you have to sit and digest it. So I should have just sat and digested it because I'm waiting for everything to link up. And that was my issue.
I told you it wasn't. I told you everything's standalone.
I know, but that was my issue while watching it, regardless, because I'm like, all right, when is all this stuff going to come together? Like, and I'm like, the episodes never really gelled for me to like a beginning or an ending. I felt like every scene that I watched never really ended.
Yeah, well, the thing is that, well, first of all, my favorite episode, I just want to mention that, is the episode with the alternate realities of how Hitler dies.
Oh, I didn't get there.
That was a brilliant episode. It was marketed as an ad advertising a time machine type deal, where you could rewrite scenarios in history and see what would have happened. And the scenarios were like Hitler got killed by a gelatinous blob built by the Russian military to suffocate all their enemies, starting World War II like 30 years later. And then it caused them killing Archduke Franz Ferdinand and everything by shooting him in gelatin. Or there was one where Hitler like got the people came back in time in like Nazi mecha suits and anti-Nazi mecha suits.
Oh wow!
And like fighting to try to see if they can kill or save Hitler. And then Hitler was like saved, and then there was like a whole nuclear war. And then we're in the ocean. There's another war in the ocean. And then what survived were squids, and then squids made it to the moon.
Wow!
It was such a brilliantly done bit. And that's just like a little piece of it. And there's another one where Topher Grace and his girlfriend they bought they had a freezer in their house. They open it up and they see a whole civilization living inside. And they see it within seconds go through cycles of being from like Neanderthals all the way up to war, destroying themselves, and then building like advanced populations and like cities. And it was incredible.
Yeah.
So it's like, the thing is that not every episode resonates with everyone. Like the final episode of the show bored the hell out of me, which was about, it was like a Metro style thing.
Okay.
If you play the video game.
So after watching all 18, how many of those episodes do you think like are really good?
The ones that I think are really good, I probably have to say 9 of them I really liked. And then I have to say about 4 of them were okay, and the other 4 I just didn't like.
Yeah.
There's one that I just didn't care for. It was like about this girl who was drifting in space, and she went to go fix something. She got knocked away from like some sort of current in space, like a drift or something. And then she got hit with something. She was like going away. Her suit was running out of oxygen because she had a slit in her suit. Okay. And she had to either like wait for death to figure out how to do it. And I'm just like, I don't care if this character lives or dies. There's no build up to her for me. It was a super well done CGI thing, right? But the show has like a lot of nudity. Oh yeah, like a lot of gore.
Oh, I like the nudity. The nudity was my favorite part.
Yeah, I could see that. The nudity stopped after the 3rd or 4th episode, though.
Yeah, then I was like, all right, so no more nudity.
That's it for the love. There's only 1 episode with robots. No, there's 2 episodes with robots.
Okay.
There was
robot nudity. The guy that couldn't get it up, he only could get it up for robots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched
that's
that
3 episodes then.
Yeah. I watched, like I said, and I was invested.
That was a cool episode, though. You didn't like that?
No, that was cool.
That was a really cool
episode. But my favorite was the yogurt one. I thought that was like really funny.
All right, well, Nigel's homework is to watch the rest of Love, Sex, Love, Death, Robots. And he needs to pay attention to it so that he can give his perspective.
My perspective is I'm probably not going to change my perspective. That's basically what it was.
Well, let me give the actual review of this now, because we were just talking about opinions. The show is done in multiple art styles.
Yes.
You have CGI, really convincing CGI to almost where you think it's live action.
Right.
But if you play video games and you're watching it, you're just like, something doesn't feel right.
Right.
It feels a little lifeless. But you kind of get over it quickly, because there's some things you can't do live action, like the guys turning into werewolves.
Yeah.
So like,
or the girls turning into like foxes.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying like the episodes which are actually like CGI to look real. Okay. And then you have animation, like anime style drawn episodes. You have an episode that's done in cell shading. You have an episode which is like crazy. It felt like I was watching Borderlands. And you have an episode that's done with sorry, I'm trying to think. Yeah, episode that's done with this style of like, I want to say Into the Spider-Verse kind of thing.
Which one was that one?
That was the one with the girl who girl who was a prostitute / stripper.
Okay, I remember that one. Yes.
Yeah, that art style was really
that
good.
one I did like. I liked that one
really
also.
cool.
I didn't understand who the guy that was chasing her was.
Yeah, they didn't explain it.
They never.
There's a bit of a twist at the end.
That's what made me like.
Sounds like you don't like the Twilight Zone.
I've never seen an episode of the Twilight Zone.
Really?
Yeah, I might
or
watch
Black Mirror.
I've never.
See, that's your issue. Is that's what this show is similar to? It's more akin to Twilight Zone and Black Mirror than it is of like any other show. You know?
Okay.
It's that split up experience, and every episode is independent. You can watch 3 episodes of the entire show and get a very similar experience as you would if you watch the entire thing.
Okay.
But one thing that shocked me is that show's getting like pretty much unanimously praised.
Is it?
And you just did not like it.
It wasn't for me.
It's not that you gotta pay attention, man.
It didn't hold my attention.
Tell you what, I'll tell you which episodes are my favorite. Watch those at least.
I'll watch those at least.
Because my favorite episodes are only 10 minutes long. As long as an episode of Anya Marina.
Oh, hey, yes.
Is that her name?
Yes, Anya Marina. Yes,
Okay.
we've watched the final 6 episodes of Anya Marina. Yes.
Wasn't it all 6?
It was all 6, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hey.
You should have written down on your notebook.
Yes.
So, for those of you who haven't been watching our last episodes where I've been shilling the ever-loving hell out of it,
yeah,
that's the show that Nigel's on, playing as a bodyguard. And he's hilarious in it.
Oh, thank you.
He's probably the funniest part of the show. Anya Marina is really funny too, but Nigel few things that he says in the show are just hilarious, man.
Thank you.
And you gotta watch it for his yellow coat.
Oh yeah, follow my yellow coat.
Are you able to review it objectively yet, or?
Yeah, I can. I've seen every episode except for the Six Flags one.
Okay.
So I was a part of all of it. So
Six Flags one was good. Not as good without you. Nigel's most entertaining about it.
Nobody told me. That's what I keep saying. I was like, yo, nobody told me.
Can you imagine you're shooting like this next big budget Marvel film and no one told you when the shooting starts?
Yeah, nobody told me. I was like, oh, snap. No, it was a great experience. I liked, when I got the script, I liked the fact that I was like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to be shaking my head at this girl every single time. And I was like, I can play this to a T. I love it. I love the fact that I played the character more like not really saying much, but when I do say something, it's something that's going to be amazing. So there's part improv. And Anya, for her credit, she really, like a lot of that stuff that she was doing, she was improving.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of it she was, when she was talking about taking ayahuasca or sleeping with Guns N' Roses. She really improv most of it, and we're still super close. I like the episodes. Not all of them were my favorites, but I did like being a part of the whole situation.
Yeah. No, I'm happy to see it. Like, I was watching. When I watch these shows, I have some friends who are in like some of these things, and just if it's not good, I'll like be honest with it. Right. It's just really entertaining. It's like a 7 minutes an episode, and it's just you can watch it like on the pooper. You're just like sitting there, put down your
that's a long poop, man.
Put down your zombie survival guide, and then just watch an episode of Anya Marina, Independent Woman. Oh
yeah, you get to watch me while you're on the toilet.
Ugh, that's an image I want to be burning into my mind.
So good.
All right, what's up next?
Up next, we'll talk about sex education.
All right, so this is a part of the show where me and Nigel tell you about the birds and the bees.
Yes.
So come sit on Steve's lap. we're gonna have a little talk.
So sex education, you recommended this show.
Yes, because I mentioned this last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago, because we weren't on last week, on what we were watching at that bit we do at the end of the show.
Yeah.
And I needed something. I usually default to British comedies, like sitcoms.
Okay.
Because I needed something to watch that was like, it had to be lighthearted enough, but also with good enough character development and plot to keep my interest.
Okay.
So that's what I got out of the show. And when I recommended it to Nigel, I'm like, I don't know if he's going to like it.
I normally don't like British comedies.
Yes.
I'm not a fan of them.
I'll recommend you some good ones. I've
never seen a lot of them. Like I've never, and to be truthfully honest with everybody out there, never seen Monty Python.
Yeah.
Never seen. Don't know anything about the Holy Grail. But I watch Sex Education, and let me tell you, I thought it was hilarious. Yeah. I really liked it.
It was a good wake up, you know?
Yeah, I really liked it. I really thought it was cool. It didn't end like I thought it would end, but I see where they were going, and I got really invested too with the characters.
I'm trying to remember because I didn't watch it for a couple weeks.
Yeah, I know.
It did sequel bait for the next season.
Okay.
From what I remember.
It definitely did.
Yeah.
It definitely did.
It's like
because he didn't end up with the girl that I thought he was going to end up with.
Yeah, it built upon the concept of like, you know, he had to give like a sex education advice because his mom being like a therapist for sexual needs.
Who is Gillian Anderson from X-Files?
She was great.
I was like, oh, this is crazy. She aged beautifully. But yeah, it was unexpected. It was quirky. It was cool to hear the slang of teenage kids. And at first, I don't normally...
You youngsters.
Right, but here's the thing. Normally, I don't like watching stuff like this because something with sex and minors, I'm like, I'm not watching the show.
Yeah.
I don't want to know nothing about... Like, I'm so far removed from puberty and all that other stuff that I'm like, I really don't care for this. Like, there's a couple shows on Hulu, and Netflix also has shows like that too, which I'm like, I can't do.
I have some like good British comedies I like. I think the show overall is a fun watch. It's there's a lot of nudity in it. There's like a lot of.
I didn't expect the nudity.
Yeah, I felt weird about it.
I felt very weird, but I know
they're being portrayed as teenagers.
But I know that they're over 18.
I know that too, but just the concept, the fact that they're showing this and they're saying, "Oh yeah, this character's 16 years old." I'm like, please, I don't feel good.
Especially the weird girl.
Yeah. The one who just like wanted to get laid for the sake of getting laid.
Yeah, the side pony girl. I'm gonna call her side pony. But yeah, she was crazy. But yeah, it was honestly, I really enjoyed it. I like the arc of the best friend, the gay black guy.
Yeah.
Like I really like his.
It was really good. What I liked is that I thought there was going to be a point in the show where he became the main antagonist.
Okay.
And he didn't, and that's what I kind of liked about it. It subverted my expectations to that extent.
Okay.
And he just went through like a phase where he was being that manly man, instead of being who he wanted to be with like dressing in drag and everything. I honestly,
and this is a mild spoiler, not too big.
Yeah.
I really thought he was going to have sex with that girl that really wanted to have sex with people.
Yeah.
I really thought he was going to do it.
I didn't get that.
I got it. Like I thought he was just going to do it just to like show that he's a man. Because in that moment he was like he didn't really know himself. He couldn't really find himself.
Yeah.
And toward the end he actually ended up finding himself and his true self. But it took him a while. And like his ups and his downs. Like I really like that character. But yeah.
Yeah, so would you watch it again? Would you recommend it?
I definitely would recommend it. I would watch it again. I really think it's something that you got to work through, power through. I mean, there's some lulls in it, but I do think that if you're
I thought every episode had enough for me to say
think so?
In. Yeah.
I was tuned in. Like I was tuned in to know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I wasn't tuned in because like, ooh, I got to keep watching this. I just wanted to feel it out. Like that's how I watch stuff. Like I want to know what this is the beginning. Okay, cool. What's going to happen toward the end? So next up, you ready?
Yes.
All right, we're going to do Scream first.
Okay, I thought I was ready for the other thing. Let's do Scream.
No, we're going to do Scream first.
Yeah, that's it for our reviews after that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right, so Scream, you started.
All right, so Scream...
I let Nigel start all these by making it look like a privilege.
So Scream is a 1996 movie by Wes Craven. It stars Neve Campbell and a bunch of other people that's in it. I can't really think of everybody's name. So basically... I don't know why I'm bringing this up because...
You technically have Jamie Lee Curtis in it.
But most people have seen Scream. I don't think I need to do that. You've never seen Scream.
I haven't seen Scream, and I like horror movies.
Yeah.
So that's why it was really interesting to me.
So it was interesting. I really wanted to know your take on it because you said, I've never seen Scream and watching it for the first time, and I'm like, great. I would love to see 2019 eyes on a 1996 movie.
Yeah, and it holds up.
Yeah.
It holds up really well. Just watching the... Watching for the first time was like, first of all, you get to see Wes Craven, like his genius at work, you know?
Right.
Because Wes Craven, what he developed was a movie, and he didn't write it. I don't know who wrote it off the top of my head.
No, I don't know.
But Wes Craven directed a movie that made parodies on all the other like tropes and cliches in horror from like the 80s up until 96 or 70s up until 96, and it did it tastefully.
But you know what's crazy? And for Wes Craven to do this, Wes Craven had a lot of flops before this movie actually came out. So the movie that came out before this was Vampire in Brooklyn with Eddie Murphy. Yeah.
I'm not familiar with that.
So, yeah. Yeah, it's a bomb. Basically, Eddie Murphy was trying to reinvent himself and do something different. And he did a movie with Wes Craven. There was a 70s movie called Blackula.
Was it?
So he tried to do his own version of Blackula.
What was it? Was it like a comedy or was it?
See, that's the thing. Nobody knew if it was a comedy, a horror film, or a thriller, or nobody really knew what it was.
Like after seeing it, or
after watching it, because Eddie Murphy was in that bubble where people didn't know how to take him outside of a comedy.
Yeah.
So he did a whole bunch of comedies. He wanted to do straight drama.
I know Will Ferrell had that little bit. He did Stranger Than Fiction?
Yes.
That was a really good movie, though.
Right. And a lot of people didn't really care for it because
he wasn't being funny?
He wasn't being funny.
It was a really good, I think it was just a good movie on its own. Not a lot of people saw it, though.
Yeah. No. It was like an independent film. I remember when it came out because I did want to see it.
I only knew about it because my brother found out about it from a friend who found out from a friend. It's like it wasn't marketed.
It wasn't marketed, but it was an indie film. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a movie theater. It was just in limited release. So, but anyway, we're talking about Scream.
Yeah.
And so he really needed a hit at that point. So when Scream came out, you have Drew Barrymore, and like some random person calls her asking her what's her favorite scary movie.
I don't know if we were going to spoil it because I didn't watch it yet, but it was a good movie. I think that the concept of it, like Nigel was saying, the scene, it starts off where you have this character being called by two mysterious figures.
Well, it was one mysterious figure. But
well,
you don't want to spoil it.
There goes that. Canceled. We're out of here. No, it's called by mysterious figure in parentheses S.
Right.
And she's being questioned, and she's told that she doesn't answer the question, she's going to die.
Right.
And her boyfriend's going to die.
Yeah.
And then it goes just running with it from there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think watching the movie, what was really interesting about it is, first of all, the self-awareness. It knew that it's a horror movie. Mm-hmm. It knew the tropes. A lot of times they actually called out the horror tropes while playing the horror tropes at the same time,
right,
which I thought were brilliant. But my favorite thing about it is probably the whodunit aspect.
Okay.
The entire movie, you're guessing who the killer is.
Who did you think it was?
I thought it was the principal. That's what I thought. Who did you think initially?
When I first watched, it was so long ago, I didn't know who it was. I had a feeling it might have been Billy, but I wasn't sure if it was him or somebody else. Like I couldn't put my finger on it.
Yeah.
But I remember being intrigued watching it because at the time when I did watch it, I watched it on a bootleg tape.
I mean,
that's how old I am.
A paid-for bootleg tape.
No. The statute of limitations. I watched this on a bootleg tape.
Paid-for bootleg tape.
Yeah, and I just remember, like, I wasn't into horror movies at the time.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yo, this movie is kind of good. You know.
I wasn't really super into horror movies until about a couple years ago.
Okay.
They always existed for me. I watched them here and there, but like. After watching Halloween, I was like, I'm all in.
Yeah.
That movie was campy and fun. And then like after that, I watched Halloween 2. I watched the Rob Zombie one.
Okay.
I spent just a day watching horror movies, and then I went over to like Hereditary, and I was having a blast with it. And now finally seeing Scream, like
do you really want to watch Scream 2 after watching Scream?
Yeah, I'll go through them all. There's only 4.
Yeah. All right.
But well, look, I mean, it's not like Halloween where they have like 8.
True.
Plus the remakes.
True.
But when I'm sitting through when I was sitting through Scream, it felt like everything I kind of wanted from it. It was scary, well, to the extent of it could be. It was scary. It was intriguing. It was funny, and it was just. It's kind of like when I heard about it, I never like people told me it was a comedy, like a dark comedy.
That's what people told you?
People told me it was a dark comedy.
Okay. And
because like, I knew there was like slashing and stuff like that.
Right.
That's kind of movie it was. But like dark humor, like it does exist in horror movies quite frequently. But this one is much more prevalent.
Right.
And when I'm thinking of dark comedy and horror, you know what comes to mind?
What?
Cabin in the Woods.
I've still never seen it yet.
Cabin, you saw that one, Mark? It's good. Cabin in the Woods was just really briefly. It's basically a horror movie where people go off to a cabin in the woods for a vacation, and they realize it's not exactly what the typical horror movie is. It's a simulation that they're in.
Oh.
And then it goes based on that. And that's the most I want to say because that's already a little bit of a spoiler.
All right.
But that's the most I want to say with that. But back to Scream, I really liked it. I recommend anyone who hasn't seen it to watch it. It's not really that scary of a movie.
It's not.
It's more of a thriller and whodunit.
It's more of a thriller, yes.
Yeah, and it's just a lot of you saying, "You stupid! Why did you do this? Why did you do this?" And the characters in the movie are saying that too.
Oh, you're talking about like with Jamie Kennedy, like going off and doing that?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen Scary Movie though?
I have.
So you didn't like it didn't taint your view of Scream?
When I saw a Scary Movie, it was like, man, this movie's a joke.
Okay.
It wasn't that funny to me. I think I watched the first one I saw was Scary Movie 3, which is one that
that's not the funny one.
No, but tackled War of the Worlds or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I watched the first one and just like it was funny, but it just wasn't memorable to me.
Right. Okay.
And it's certainly not movie 43 quality. So.
All right, let's get to why we're here. Jordan
Garfield
Peele's,
2.
Oh, Garfield
Tell
2.
Two Kitties.
Bill Murray was in that one. Yes, while we're here, Jordan Peele's Us.
All right, so we're gonna preface this with something me and Nigel both agreed on. First half of this review is gonna be spoiler free. Then we're gonna give you blatant spoiler warning, and then we're going all in on the spoilers.
Yeah.
Because this movie is best experienced without any information.
Right.
Which is how I experienced it. I only watched one trailer because I had to do it for the show.
Okay.
But it's best to go in as blind as you can. So we're going to try to keep it vague for the first half.
Okay.
Second half, we're going to go all spoilers and talking about theories and all the little plot elements in it. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, Us. This is Jordan Peele's second movie, and what people are trying to say is going to be a trilogy of movies. Did you hear about that?
No,
Okay.
I did not. But Us is the base concept of it is there are a system of tunnels under America which reside clones, and clones are trying to come back and take over a family of this girl in order to kind of like have a happy life instead of living that like dreaded life.
I saw it differently. I saw it as
I mean, so did I, but that's as brief as I can get without being spoiler.
Yeah, it's hard to review this movie without spoiling things.
Yeah.
Because what happens is a lot of people left this movie thinking that it sucked.
See, when I left this movie, I was actually with my friend Ryan, and when we were walking out, we were like, eh. Like, we didn't think it was good or bad, and then I just sat thinking on it for a couple hours. Like, you went home and immediately did research.
Oh yeah, I immediately did.
I just sat home and I just thought about the movie.
Right.
And just sitting and thinking about it, I liked it more as I thought about all the little plot lines that it had.
Exactly. There was a lot of like...
It's a movie that I think you need to watch twice to really appreciate.
Yeah.
Which I regret not being able to do. My Movie Pass got canceled, and they said that I can't renew it for 9 months.
Why?
I don't know. I think it's like a payment decline thing or whatever. Because they tried to double charge me. And like I have this thing that's set to where like it'll only charge me this amount of money.
Oh, okay.
And if it charges me like a penny more, like, it won't go through.
Oh.
And when I was using Movie Pass, it just like I tried to use it, it was failing on me, and it said 9 months until I use it again. So I'm going to Showcase or AMC. Anyway, so
anyway,
you have basically a system of tunnels under the city, filled with clones. Clones are trying. Then you have this family of clones trying to come back and take over the life of the old family.
Well, yeah. Well, the movie starts out in 1986.
And I'm trying so hard to be vague.
I know, it's hard, but the movie starts out in 1986, where there was an incident with the main star of the movie, Adelaide.
Yeah.
That's her name, Lupita Nyong'o's character.
Like the Australian city.
Lupita Nyong'o's character. What happens is she leaves her parents and goes into a house of mirrors.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening, she sees a girl that looks just like her, and it shocks her so much that she cannot speak, cannot talk. She's, she goes through a period of her life where her parents do not know what to do with her. They take her to therapists, they take her to all these people. It's a traumatic experience for her, and she grows up knowing that this traumatic experience happens.
Yeah. And that's like my slogan this episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but that's what's been happening with her as she's been trying to deal with that struggle. And the movie is just kind of like more than a home invasion like I expected. It had a lot of metaphors, had a lot of deep, buried, intertwining plot lines.
Okay.
And that's the most I'm want to say about the movie.
All right.
I can't really say anything else. I recommend it highly.
All right. So
I don't think it's as good as Get Out, but I think it's good.
It's not as good as Get Out, but it is good. Once you watch this movie and then you go home and you do your research and you'll be like, you'll have all these aha moments where you're like, they completely pulled the wool over my eyes. Yeah. I think next week you want to spoil it, or you want to do this?
Want to do it quickly? Want to rapid fire it? Or want to save it for next week?
No, because we're going to say what we're watching lately.
Yeah, so we'll do that. I started watching the show called Green Wing.
Okay.
A British sitcom about people who work in a hospital. It's kind of like a British Scrubs, and watching the show, I know it's a lot of familiar actors like from the show. What's it called? It's escaped my mind. There's this show episodes about a British show being brought over to America and getting absolutely torn to shreds by like what the American audiences want. And it's just you're seeing the existence of a dream slowly begin to die in these like British writers. So that's brilliant. And two of those actors are in that show. That's where they got their start apparently. Okay. And I'm starting to realize that there's like a big British network of these famous actors for British sitcoms I didn't know existed. Yeah, that's because we're over here. Yeah, but brilliant show. And what else am I watching? I watched the new Jumanji. You watched that? I watched it. I did too. I watched it. I wanted to watch Scream, and then I couldn't find it anywhere. So then I started watching Jumanji. I'm like, nah, screw this. I need to watch Scream. Yeah. So I went to go. I actually watched Scream. Then I went to go watch Jumanji as a palate cleanser. Did you like it? It was okay. Did you watch it? Yeah, I did see it. It felt like an episode of D&D. Yeah, it wasn't good. It's like if you're playing a really badly thought out Dungeons and Dragons campaign. That's what that movie is. Yeah. All right. It was fun for what it is. I thought Jack Black was hilarious in it. Yes, he was. Or I should say Jablinski Games. And I think that's everything I've been watching. I watched the Dirt on Netflix. It's the Motley Crue biopic. I really enjoyed it. I didn't think I was going to enjoy it. MGK plays Tommy Lee. Yeah. Pete Davidson is in it. Like I really enjoyed that one. I also watched Idris Elba's Turn Up Charlie. Yeah, I watched that because after I watched the whole British sitcom, I was like, all right, you know what? Let me watch this show. And actually, I enjoyed it. Yeah? Yeah. It's not for everyone, but I did enjoy it. It was a cute little story about him being a nanny. I'm going to recommend you episodes because you're going to love that. Okay. That's a good gateway into British sitcoms. And then I recommend you watch this show called Black Books. Okay. So, all right. Well, thank you for tuning in. I'm Steve. I'm Nigel. And you have been watching The Jump Cut. We are excited to see you next week, and be sure to stay tuned for an exciting episode of 22 Now featuring special guest tour manager from Twisted Sister. Yeah. And it's those guys need a biopic, don't they? Yeah, I think so. What do you No, that was a documentary. We got to get a biopic. Oh, an actual biopic? Yeah. Nobody's good looking enough to play me. I am. I'll do it. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week on The Jump Cut. Synchronize. I gotta pee.
Do you?
No.
Oh.